Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Fitchburg Fire Department, it's Adam Dorn. That must mean it's time for safety. Fire safety. How's it going?
That is one of the best intros I've heard you do.
If you asked me to repeat that, I would not be able to do that.
I think we should ask him to do it again.
Nope. But we are going to talk about something that we've talked about in the past. As things start to cool down, you and I like to go out in the woods, do some hunting. It's just time to think about, I almost said hunting safety. Heating safety.
But maybe that's an idea for one of our next episodes.
Hunting safety, not a bad thing. Yeah. Gotta have those harnesses and everything ready to go. But we do want you to stay safe as it does get cool here, if it ever gets cool. I mean, when we tape this, we're kind of in a warming trend, so we'll see if it cools down here in the near future. But there are some things that we definitely want you to stay safe with when we're thinking heating safety. So we're just going to kind of go through the gamma here of different heating things. But first and foremost, Dorn, if you're put on the spot, like heating safety, where's the first thing you're going to check out as you get ready for winter and the cold temperatures?
Well, let's make sure the furnace actually operates as it's designed to. Right?
Okay.
A lot of times people will just, even me, I've done it too, just, it's getting cold, turn your furnace on and be done. You know, sometimes when you have a newer furnace, it's not such a big deal because you know it's going to work. But as the furnace gets older, along with their house and everything else, sometimes things break or they don't operate as smoothly as they should. So it's always good to get your furnace checked up. You know, do a checkup on your furnace, just like you go to the doctor for a checkup. Bring the servicemen out to your house and have them check up your furnace.
Next one that I think of is space heaters, that you're just pulling these out, and I love when you fire up a good space heater and you smell the burning smell of dust and grime and everything else in between. What can we do to ensure that those things are going to work properly? And not that you can guarantee it by any means. We're not here to say good or bad or whatever, but what would you do?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend not using them if you don't have to. We'll start there. But if you need to use them, right, make sure that you keep everything at least 3 feet away from them, from any of the heating equipment, that kind of stuff, because if something happens to fall on it or maybe it tips over, there's a chance that it could start a fire. And by keeping that 3-foot surrounding area clear of anything that could burn is a great way to start. That includes pets. That can be hard at times, but it can be done.
All right, and speaking of pets, kids, and everything else, as it gets colder and we get into these holiday months, we're going to see a lot of cooking and stuff. When we're thinking of heat from the heat sources, such as the oven, the heater, the whatever, talk a little bit more about that safety with those crazy kids or those pets.
Yeah. So just like we want to keep that 3-foot space around a space heater, keep a 3-foot space around all of your cooking appliances. Keep everybody 3 feet away. Basically, if you are within 3 feet, you should be cooking something. And if you're not cooking, you need to be at least 3 feet away from it. That's the easy way to remember that. One of the other things with that, don't use your appliances to heat your home.
That was going to be my next question for you.
Yeah, I read your mind.
You sure you don't want to do that?
Yeah, I am absolutely sure you don't want to do that. Right around the holidays, winter, it can get tough. It can be super cold. You can be running short on, finances to pay the heating bill, all that kind of stuff, just because you have an oven in your home. That is not the way to heat your home. That's actually very dangerous. We could go on for hours about that, but we're not going to. But just don't use your oven to heat your home. Now, what I do is if I'm cooking something in the oven and when I'm done, I'll leave the oven door cracked open so the heat does come out, but then it's closed when I'm done in the kitchen. So you can let the heat come out that way, but do not use your oven to heat your residence.
Again, check the manufacturer to make sure that that's recommended.
Right.
Not really, though. All right, next one. The fireplace kind of is the next area. I seem, you're waiting to have that first fire in the chimney. And when's the last time you cleaned the chimney, Dorn?
It would be 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Uh-oh.
Now, I have not burned in my chimney or my fireplace the last 2 years. So I go about every 2 to 3 years before I have it checked again before I burn. So I am due for a cleaning inspection by a chimney sweep.
What's the top reason for chimney fires?
I would not 100% sure on this, but if I were to look at everything, I believe it would be the buildup of creosote inside of your chimney. And that creosote, it comes from the burning of the wood, right? So it actually sticks to the inside of your flue in your chimney. And over time, it just builds up so much that when you start the next fire and you got a nice, good roaring fire, all that heat goes up past the creosote, which is combustible, and now you have a fire on the lining of the inside of your chimney.
Not good.
Not good.
Other heating, and it seems to be very popular, and I'm not sure good or bad how they work, but wood and pellet stoves, or these pellet heaters, very popular. Safety things around that, because it just, I don't know much about it, so that's part of it, but any recommendations there for making sure that's ready to go?
Always refer to the manufacturer's recommendations. That's probably the easiest way to say this, but refer to their recommendations. Make sure that the installation was done by a professional. Make sure that the equipment is vented to the outside of your building and that it meets all the requirements for that, because that will help prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Also, with that, make sure you have the carbon monoxide detectors installed around these different places, because if you're using that for the major heating appliance in your house, that you have a chance of creating carbon monoxide in your home. You want to be sure to protect yourself against that.
Yeah, it's a good one. And I saw too in recommendation checking the smoke alarms during the heating season. Also important. What would you recommend on checking? What are we checking?
Well, we want to make sure, one, that they're there. Two, if there are batteries in them, that the batteries are actually present. Three, that they actually work. The leading cause of smoke detectors not working is batteries aren't present.
They were
sounds
choking
really,
up, yeah.
really silly to say that, but that's the case. Most of the time, when the smoke detectors don't operate, it's because the batteries were taken out. Make sure they're there for a reason. They do a good job of what they're supposed to do.
All right, and finally, just overall for heat safety, we've got our smoke detectors, we've got our plan. I think it's just the plan of, and I don't know why, but I'm going to emphasize it all this year of checking all of these things, but also what do you do in different scenarios? How would you recommend building that plan, real quick?
Yeah, take a look at your layout of your house. Look at who's in your home on a regular basis. Right, and then kind of walk through what happens if this is the case. What do I do from here? And go through each one of those scenarios, whether that's a smoke alarm going off, maybe it's carbon monoxide detector, maybe there's actually a fire, right? And you can have it set up for one that's just a detector activation, one that's actually fire, one that's actually smoke. You can have them kind of all be different, but they all should end up being the same end goal. Everybody gets out, stays out, goes to the meeting place, and everyone is safe.
And I think that's important to tie into all of this because you might want to think twice if it's cold out there of where that meeting place is going to be. Hopefully it's going to be somewhere where you can get to a warm spot quickly, but also safely. All right, Dorn, well, I appreciate the help. If people want to learn more about heat safety or fire safety, where can they find it?
You can always go to our fire department website, which is fitchburgwi.gov/fire. You can go there. We have a lot of information there, but it also takes you out to different places to find more information. So take a look. And if you can't find something that you're interested in about or want to know more about, let us know. There's an email there in the front page to email us.
Fantastic. I'm the only one that sends you emails all the time, so I know that you're getting them, that's for sure. All right, Dorn, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
You bet. All right, Adam Dorn, Fitchburg Fire Department. Check out the website, fitchburgwi.gov, Public Safety, Fire Department. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg Fire Department.